Welcome back, Bears fans. We are breaking down day 5 of the Chicago Bears training camp and the last day of unpadded practice. But first, make sure to like and subscribe out there on YouTube and rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. So you heard that right. Last day of no pads. It feels good, and really the Bears are excited about this because it sounded like the offensive line and defensive line were going at it. And none other than Braxton Jones, who seemingly is like one of the nicest guys, was in the middle of it all. So they've been practicing a lot, getting the better of each other, and now pads will be on tomorrow. But really, today was the first day in training camp that the defense beat the offense, which I'm more than fine with. I want to see the offense do great, but it's nice to see the defense kind of come into their own and do well against this offense. So let's get started. Let's break down most impressive, good offense, good defense, and also the big uglies because the defensive line was playing pretty well today. So let's start with the most impressive. And this seemed to be consensus across Bears Twitter. This person balled out. That's Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool's stock is rising. He's put together a handful of good practices and today made multiple contested catches. And according to Greg Braggs, there was 2 passes to him in a row. One was on Tyrique Stevenson, who was all over him. Great catch. And then also was able to get out of bounds and made a very good catch the play right after that. Overall, Claypool made a lot of plays, made a lot of contested catches, which is great because we've said this before on the show. Justin Fields needs to learn that Claypool might not create separation, but he's going to be able to get the ball and catch the ball if you just give him an opportunity. So phenomenal plays by Chase Claypool out there showing Justin Fields, you can trust me, just throw me the ball. Let me know down in the comments too, what do you think of Chase Claypool? Do you think he's going to ball out? Are you drafting him in your fantasy leagues? These are all things that I'm curious about where everybody's head is at on Chase Claypool because he looks healthy. We saw that he was on the PUP list before. Now he's no longer on it, and he looks healthy. But on the flip side, another person who impressed today was Tyrique Stevenson. Tyrique Stevenson, he's still kind of, quote-unquote, battling Terrell Smith for those first-team reps. But this is where we saw Tyrique Stevenson step up his game, play very well, got an interception on Justin Fields in 11-on-11s. He was targeting Chase Claypool and in the middle of the field, and he was able to come away with the interception. Also, little nugget, Gervon Dexter kind of blew up the play in the backfield as well. So good play by Gervon Dexter, but Stevenson overall in one-on-ones going against DJ Moore played very tight coverage. It's that iron sharpens iron. Tyrique Stevenson seems to kind of gotten the hint with the Terrell Smith getting some of the first team reps. And Stevenson played very well today. We'll see what ends up happening when everybody gets the pads on. But now, let's just continue talking about the offense. Let's continue talking about the good. And there's been a lot of good with these wide receivers, which is awesome to say. Velus still looks like a solid wide receiver out there. And also Darnell Mooney looking healthier. It seemed like that extra day of rest really served him some good. A lot of people saying Mooney looks healthy. They saw the quickness of old Darnell Mooney when he was fully healthy, which is great to see. But also, Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott looked pretty well too. The video that you're seeing is from Clay Harbor on Twitter. He was able to snap some video of this. You see him cooking Terrell Smith, where Terrell Smith is just in the dust on this play. But it's nice to see Tyler Scott doing these shorter drills. Now, yes, wide receivers are supposed to win one-on-ones like this in the one-on-ones, but it's nice to see how much separation he gets. Overall, everybody has been very impressed with Tyler Scott, myself included, especially on the deep routes. So it's nice to see him doing plays like this in the short, intermediate type of range. But also some other goods. The check down game was in full swing today, and the check downs looked solid. Seemed to be a lot of good connections. And the person who seemingly got the most check down catches, Foreman. Foreman also got a lot of first team reps at the running back position. It had a handful of people that were there saying, hey, I didn't really realize that this was going to be this big of a competition, but it looked to be that way. And we've talked about it on the show. I was surprised myself that D'Onta Foreman that it seems like the Bears really do like him, and he got a lot of first-team reps today. So something definitely to look at. But the Bears have also said, too, they like to switch around some of the reps. So it could be that. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But now, let's talk about the bad, shall we? Chase Allen wasn't out there. The Bears signed Pickney out of Vanderbilt. I'll probably create another episode talking a little bit about him at tight end. Chase Allen has not had a good camp, so with him not being out there, I'm curious if anything's going on. Lucas Patrick fumbled a snap to Justin Fields. Obviously, you don't want to see that, but there's a handful of just miscues on the offensive side of the ball, like Darnell Wright being the only player to be running a route when it was clearly a running play. Probably just a miscue in the huddle, and the rookie probably just thought that it was a passing play or a running play to another side. But then also, DeMarcus Walker beat Darnell Wright for a sack. And this is something that I feel like we hear a lot is Darnell Wright getting beaten. This is where I'm so thankful that the pads will be on, because now we can truly see what's happening when they're going after each other, because also Darnell Wright tossed someone aside and you see the pure strength and physicality of that gigantic man who runs like a wide receiver. So can't wait for it to be on, but I do just want to call that out. Darnell Wright is definitely someone that I want to keep my eyes on moving forward, because though I haven't heard Braxton Jones getting beaten too much like I have with Darnell Wright. I'm not nervous. He's not a bust. Just want to keep my eyes out on him. But then also there's a handful of plays where Justin Fields just held onto the ball a little bit too long. Obviously, we want to see those quick and a little bit faster. So the quick decisions Justin was throwing very well with. But when the play wasn't there, it's those longer developing plays that he should just kind of throw it to the right people rather than holding on to it too long. So very nitpicky, but like I said, defense won the day. So let's actually talk about the defense, where Terrell Lewis keeps making plays. Zach Pearson brought up that Terrell Lewis would have had a tackle for loss. Also, Greg Braggs again brought up Donovan Jeter, the UDFA out of Michigan, was in with the first team and tossed an offensive line aside and was able to make a good play. This is Donovan Jeter, and this is the first time that we've really heard of him, but in the preseason, definitely someone we'll look after. Justin Jones won several one-on-ones, according to Courtney Cronin of ESPN, against Nate Davis. So Nate Davis still kind of getting cooked, but Justin Jones, like I've mentioned before, looks very quick, looks very agile. Love to see him out there. And then we also talked about Javon Dexter was able to blow up a play in the backfield, but Justin Jones and Cody Whitehair both had very high praise for Javon Dexter. When people and veterans are going out of their way to praise you, whew, that's good. That's really good that he's getting that sort of praise, but he just seemed like he was in the face of a lot of players, and Javon was just making plays out there. But his counterpart, who splits the second team reps with him, they're side by side, Zach Pickens, and Mark Grody said he saw some mean from Zach Pickens. So Zach Pickens looking a little ferocious out there. I love the 1-2 punch of Pickens and Javon. Also, let's go out to the backfield. Let's go out to the secondary and linebackers. Elijah Hicks got some work alongside Eddie Jackson, so it really seems like they like the second-year player out of California in Elijah Hicks. Also, Jack Sanborn was back out there. I don't know how long Sunday was, but it seems like Sanborn and Mooney are kind of full health or going at it a lot better than they were before. But yeah, Sanborn was out there with the first team linebackers, while Noah Sewell was mostly with the second team. So we talked about this before. Sanborn does look like the better linebacker. Not a huge surprise that he's getting the first team reps again as soon as he's healthy. But last, but certainly not least, Braylon Trahan. We'll see. We'll figure this out. This is the first time that we're really hearing about him out of University of Louisiana Lafayette. Had 2 interceptions today, one against Fields and one against PJ Walker. So good play by this person, and also playing with the second team. So we talked about, okay, Elijah Hicks seems to be doing well. People really like Elijah Hicks. But now, who's going to be that fourth person? I was thinking about A.J. Thomas, and we know about not Stevenson, the guy that we got out of Stanford. But Braylon Trahan, with 2 interceptions, that ain't bad. I think that he's going to be getting more looks at that fourth safety role. Definitely something to keep an eye out. But let me know down in the comments what you think so far, what you've heard. Who are you excited about? Let me know down below. But as always, make sure to like and subscribe out there if you like the content. We'll keep giving you this great content. Thank you to all the podcast listeners out there. And with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair and you know that she's a